What's that, Ichigo? I don't care how sharp your sword is. Huh? Oh. Hey everybody, Tekking101 here, here to review Bleach chapter number Infinity. Okay, so it starts off with Yuha and Hashwalt invading the Soul Palace. They freaking wreck the place. Zero Squad ain't got shit on these guys. Yuha breaks in the fucking door to the Soul King's room. He steps in, and there, on the throne, lies Cone! That's right, Cone was the Soul King all along, and he regales his epic story of how he became into existence and how created everything known to mankind. But then Yuha just beats his freaking face in, and he claims the throne for himself. Cut back over to the Soul Society, where we have all the different Shinigami taking on all the Stern Ritters, because it turns out that all the Shinigami were actually robots all along. They were all Terminators. This makes perfect sense now. Humans die, go to the Soul Society, and when then they die, they become Terminators. The cycle of life is completed. So we have lasers and plasma grenades going off everywhere, but it's okay, because then the Hueco Mundo army shows up. You know, Gontenbine and Lolly and Menoli and all the members of the Arankars are there. Orihime healed Nell's skull, so now she's back in her super awesome sexy form again. She goes into a Resurrection, Galamusa freaking wrecks a shit ton of Quincy's just with that Lanceador Verde shit. And then on the Fullbringers side, they show up, you know, Ginjo and Tsukishima, and they're like, we're ready for the battle, but then they immediately get one shot by all the members of the Game of Thrones universe that also ended up in the Soul Society. Freaking Ned Stark and Robb Stark is there, freaking Tywin Lannister kicks ass, you know, so they all show up on the battlefield to fight against the Stern Ritters. So then we have all the Stern Ritters dropping, right? But then we have Askin Naklevar show up, and Askin shows up and he peels off his face, and it turns out it was a mask, and that he was Sosuke Aizen all along. But before Aizen could even say exactly as planned, Yamamoto rises from the ground, grabs Aizen, proceeds to beat the ever-loving shit out of him until he burns him up with that awesome level 300 keto that we haven't gotten to see yet, but he totally probably could do. And I know what a lot of you continuity freaks out there are saying right now, but Yamamoto got completely incinerated by Yuha. There wasn't a trace of him left. Bullshit. The very second that Aizen's voice even echoed in the Soul Society, the atoms literally bonded together to create a physical structure for Yamamoto's body to inhabit, so he can literally shut this dickburger up once and for all. And that's how we got Zombie Yama. And we cut back to the Soul Palace and we find out the one reason that Yuha purged all the Shinigami, the reason he made all the Stern Ritters, the reason for existence whatsoever was that he could sit on this throne and then he could ask Hashwalt to marry him. However, Hashwalt doesn't really swing that way. I know, I was surprised too. You know, the hair. And he turns Yuha down and Yuha's like, no! However, since Yuha is now basically the god of everything, though, he can't handle the rejection, tries to kill himself. This separates a hole in the space-time continuum, which gender flips every single person in the Seirete. Boys, girls, girls, boys, and whatever the hell Yumachika was becomes flipped. You know what, a little bit of a confusion there, but even more confusion arises when out of the space-time continuum hole, freaking Rick Grimes and his group show up, blow off Zombie Yama's head. It's like, okay, we're the rest of the freaking zombies, and then Giselle Guel gets out of the rubble and he says, oh, you're gonna love me then, so, you know, he revives all the zombies and they have an epic clash right there. Oh, by the way, meanwhile, while this is going on, Urahara and Yoruichi are just casually sitting on a flying carpet with Mr. Popo watching all this chaos emerge because, you know, they kind of get off on it. But anyway, after all things are said and done, there's massive death and robot parts and freaking, you know, dismembered corpses everywhere, and the space-time continuum keeps pouring out people from, I don't know, Sailor Moon and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which might make this more or less sane. I don't know, I've never seen it. They start pouring in, but Ichigo looks up at the sky, and she says, what the fuck is with all this? And at that exact cue, he wakes up, and he's on the ground, and he stands up, and he's like, covered with the, you know, he's wearing his, you know, Dongai uniform, you know, when he fought against Aizen, he has the long hair and his sword, you know, and Aizen's standing there before him, and he's like, what's going on? He's like, oh, I used my Bankai at the end of the Fake Kurotown arc. Everything since then had just been a massive freaking illusion. And then Ichigo looks up, he's like, fuck, are you serious? He's like, yeah! And then Aizen cuts his head off, end of series.